look as if he's have just come straight away for the Green Brigade.
Aye, we'd have meeting at 6:30, mate.
That's who we are. The best on the planet. Unbelievable.
I love that. It's what I love.
First of all, before we go on tomorrow, we'll just want to say about Greg Taylor, mate. That's why the boys call him Oxwell, because he's absolutely different gravy.
Yes, Jason, and we're back. Welcome to the Celtic Unrestricted View. My name is Ryan Clifford, and on the screen you can see I'm joined by Jason. Well, Jason, another semi-final for Celtic. Hampden again, mate. Very comfortable victory, in my opinion. According to Mr. Halliday, we were a perfect draw. I think the only thing about the weekend was a perfect Celtic victory. Hope you're well, big man, and had a good weekend. And let us know your thoughts on the game at the weekend, mate.
Good evening, mate. It's good to be on. It's good to be back. And it was very convincing. There was another certain Clyde One pundit said that Hearts were going to ruin, but we're going to stop Celtic's unbeaten run. I think it was a Mr. Ewan Cameron. So you introduced the after Twitter, big man.
I think again, mate, there's a lot of talking to media up to the game, and I think that's 2 games will beat Hearts, 2 games quite comfortably. So for me, mate, let's just talk about it. Semi-final again, mate. What's your thoughts on Celtic? Back to Hampden, mate. It's been quite a glory hunting. Basically, it has been a bit of a glory hunting stage for us, mate. A few years back, people says Hampden was a bit of a place where really Celtic weren't they good, and if you look at the facts, mate, Celtic have been very good at Hampden. That's why you've won X amount of trophies the last how many years. So for me, Jason, brought you back in our semi-final. It will look like maybe will it be Rangers or will it be a lower league team? It's going to be, I think, maybe in my opinion, Jason, I think the Scottish media, the Scottish pundits, the Scottish FA, they'll all want a Celtic Rangers final. It helps them sponsorship-wise. It helps them promote the game. It just helps the game. But I don't think your marks who we get, mate, because you're confident whoever you play.
I don't think. I mean, I was saying that to my dad yesterday. I said, who is going to actually stop Celtic here? Because everybody's trying, and they no matter what way teams set up, they can't stop us. They can't beat us. Whether they go the low block or they try and come at us or they sit in or whatever. Do you know what I mean? They can't get us no matter what any team tries. We just seem to steamroll them. But it was. I'm struggling to use. I'm running out of words to use to describe how good we are, mate. I've never, honestly, it's unbelievable. And that's so. People have always been feared. First, it was Livingston's ground that we struggled at. He's put that to bed. Then it is when you go to St Mirren, you can't get a win up there. He's put that to bed. I don't know where people are getting this idea that we struggled with Hampden. We struggled in Hampden. We won a quadruple treble there. Do you know what I mean? So I think yesterday, the media and I think Hearts genuinely believed that they were going to beat us yesterday. Fuck, I don't know why. But again, we just let our football do the talking on the pitch, and we were solid again. We were brilliant once again.
I think the best thing about us yesterday for me, Jason, was the fact we started very early. What we've been typical of doing since Ange came in. Maybe the last few weeks it's not been as quick and sharp as what sometimes we can do. But I thought yesterday, mate, we started the tempo right away. We set the stall out right away. Aaron Moy obviously getting the early goal. And for me, Jason, I thought it was a fantastic finish. They're one of the finishes where it can balloon right over the bar, and I thought his technique was superb. And again, he's, for me, an absolute bargain of signing. I says it for day dot when he signed. It was a brilliant bit of business. I didn't think he would be all wow, he'd be a mainstay. I didn't think, but I thought for the business that we got him for, i.e. a free transfer, I thought it was quite a bit of shrewd business. I was quite happy with the signing. Although some fans were quite a bit, oh, why be signing him? He's kind of getting the latter stages about his career. He's no young. What I mean, like Ange signings are young, 23, 24, vibrant, athletic. He was obviously in China, wasn't the best of spells for him. But when you speak to a lot of people when it comes to the international scene, he's brilliant. The World Cup showed again how good he was. His first few games, a lot of fans were a bit, I don't know, he doesn't look fit. But bear in mind, he didn't have a pre-season. It's going to take guys a few weeks and a few months, well, in fact, not a few weeks, a few months to get used to this system with Ange, the demands and the fitness. And for me, Jason, he's been an absolute bargain because you can't buy that experience with Pierre, Jason. Premier League, International. And if you were to buy him, Jason, how much would it cost you? A few £1 million. So, in my opinion, mate, Aaron Moy's an absolute steal, mate. And the more he plays, I think the better he's going to get with this team. Obviously, because he's age, you're not going to get the peak of him. But I think he's been brilliant, mate. And I thought his goal set the stall out. And again, it might be overconfident. It might be, I don't know if it's been too bad. I don't know what it is. But as soon as he scored that goal, mate, I thought the game was finished. I just think there was no way Hearts were going to come back and beat us because the way we are playing now, Jason, I just feel we're struggling just sometimes to go out a second gear. And that's not because we're struggling as we can't do it. It's because we don't need to do it. I think we're the only team in Scotland, in my opinion, Jason, that if we need to go to a third gear, a fourth gear, even maybe in a fifth, if we really, really need to, I think we can. And I don't think that others can.
I think, firstly, Aaron Moy, people are forgetting that Aaron Moy's keeping Matt O'Reilly and David Turnbull out the team. But David Turnbull can't even go on the pitch now, and Matt O'Reilly's coming off the bench. So that just shows you. I mean, we were sitting here at the start of the season saying that O'Reilly, but you couldn't drop O'Reilly. You can't get a start now because that's how good Aaron Moy's playing. A lot of people laughed at Aaron Moy when they signed him. I was one of the ones I wasn't really too sure on him, but he's proved us all wrong. What a signing he's proved to be. He scored a good few goals for us, and I thought yesterday he took his goal well and all. But I just thought yesterday, mate, when we get the early goal, usually when we get an early goal, that's it. But now we were. I agree with you. I don't think that we've come out of second gear this season because we don't need to, which is really, really frightening. Really, really frightening. I think another player that had a really, really good game and always Alistair Johnson. Probably speak for a lot of Celtic fans that when Juranovic left, we were all a wee bit. How are we going to replace him and all that? But now we're all sort of sitting going Juranovic too because I think he's just as good as Juranovic. People were trying to say that Ralston was better than Juranovic. So, you can get your head tested if that's what you think. Football isn't for you. I like Ralston, but he's not getting in that team before Alistair Johnson. No way, no how. I think Johnson's a different type of player to Juranovic, but I think he's equal. He's just as good.
I was a bit, I don't want to say sad, but I was a wee bit disappointed that JJ left, and I do think he's top quality. I think he's doing well over in Berlin. He might not be starting every game, but when he's contributing, he scored a lovely free kick the other day as well. So he's definitely doing well over, and I think most people who go to Germany, Jason, do well, especially coming from a different country, i.e. like Scotland or England. They do well, especially guys down south, like Birmingham, etc. have done well there. So Sancho went over and done well. So I know that's a different capacity of player, but these guys do go over and kind of improve when they go away. And talking about Johnson, a wee comment here from Alban 1945. I live in Canada. AJ's making the news over here as well. What do you boys think of him? Great bit of business. Sorry. Aye, definitely in terms of the value. I would say it's fantastic value, Jason. I was a wee bit unsure on when he first came in, as in going forward. I still maybe think he's maybe go to maybe do a bit better going forward. But yesterday, for me, he was brilliant going forward. So it's kind of taken my argument out of that situation. In my opinion, your first protocol is a right back, it's to defend, or a left back, it's to defend. The other side are obviously saying how good Tavernier is at penalties and free kicks, etc., assists. I get that, it's part of football, but I don't think Tavernier is the best defensively. But we've got Johnson, who for me is brilliant defensively, and it's scoring goals and assists. But just my opinion, Jason, your first protocol as a defender is to defend, and then the rest follows. So, in my opinion, I totally agree why he's making big use, because he suddenly played at World Cup and he done okay at the World Cup. I thought it was good. I didn't think, wow, what a player. I just thought, he's done well. He's kept out some very good teams here and good players. So we came to us 3 million. I'm thinking, I'm sure £3 million, wasn't it? If that's good bit of business, guys playing the World Cup, played with Canada. That's a decent bit of business. Obviously, I still thought JJ was the best right back we had, and then he's away, and I think he's proven himself now, Jason. But the only thing I'm going to say, but we can praise this team at the Hulk, Jason. Now we're doing well and domestically, but I think next year, again, I'm going to just talk because it's going to be so hard for us to lose the league. In my opinion, you win the league, you're automatic Champions League. Then I think this is where these guys will get tested and probably prove how good they are, because as much as we are doing so well, you can praise them at the Hulk. There's only so much I think you can praise them in Scotland. I think maybe next year, for the experience we've had this year in Europe, next year, if we don't do, obviously, Jason, you know yourself, it all depends on who you get in the groups, but if we don't put up a better performance, then you might go, right, maybe we need to invest again, maybe we need to look for European football. But in terms of Scottish football, Jason, right now, he's been superb.
I think we're looking to see an improvement in Europe. I don't think we were that bad in Europe, obviously, this season, but there was just we were lacking that wee bit of composure. So you think going into Europe this year, you're going to have that? Excuse me, but I think I do agree that's when they'll be judged as next year in Europe, and I think Andrew wants to do something in Europe next year. To be honest, I think the way that he's sort of talking about it, he wants to try and get out of the group, whether it be into the last 16 or into the Europa. But for me, looking at that team now, they definitely could do something in that Europa League, 100%. I think it's just obviously trying to get the luck of the draw in the Champions League and trying to finish third. You know what I mean? Because I think we've seen this year in Europe, in the Champions League, the jump up for Europa League to Champions League is massive, man. It's massive. Yep. Because, I mean, you just need to look at the Rangers, you know what I mean? They got to the final last year, and look what happened to them in the Champions League. So that just shows you how big the jump up is. Do you know what I mean? So, the Champions League's always going to be hard, but you need to be in it.
Hi. I would say so, mate. I think in terms of the European, mate, I think that'll take care of itself. But for me, I just think in terms of the game yesterday, I don't know what you thought as well. Hasebanovic, was a lot of screaming, shouting for him to start the game. In my opinion, I'm a big fan of him. I think he's an old school winger. He's direct, he's quick, he's sharp. Yesterday, he wasn't as explosive, but see, I don't know if it's because I were doing this, Jason, or I've stopped playing football and I look at things for a different avenue. It's the small things I see in players now. Like the small things he done yesterday, it was a wee nips and tricks in the passes and his footwork. It was the small things that you know a guy's a player. So, and like Jota, I thought Jota was superb yesterday. He was kind of getting back to himself, and I thought he actually nearly retired Michael Smith with that one in the second half. Brilliant pass in the box. So for me, Hasebanovic, Jason, I really like him. I think next year you'll see the best of him in terms of, I know Juan says this is his best condition he's been at the club. I think next year, under a pre-season again, and you'll probably find the pre-season might even be harder because of obviously what you're expecting, i.e. European football. So I think Haskabanovic, I'm expecting a lot from him in the next coming months.
Aye, I thought he was. I didn't think he was that great yesterday. I don't think he was bad, but he wasn't. This is what I started noticing with the wingers. I was saying that to my dad yesterday as well. Like, a wee Abada comes on against Mirren, brilliant. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like Haskabanovic comes when he starts Abada against Hearts during the week, wasn't really that great. Haskabanovic comes off the bench against Hearts during the week, plays well, gets a start, didn't really play that well. So I think we've seen it before. I think that's what happens with wingers. Like, you've got one good game, maybe one bad game. But I like him, mate. I think he's really, really good. He's got a different, again, offers something different.
You tired, big man?
Offers something different that the other wingers don't, mate. Do you know what I mean? And but I think next year will be his year. I think just next year, I think once he gets another, his fitness gets better and he'll be a bit more sharpness. He's just going back for that injury as well. So I think next year will be the year we'll see him. 100%.
We comment from Plunge. I missed you earlier one, Plunge. Thanks for tuning in, mate. Hail. I said last week the visit to Tynecastle would be easier than the game at Celtic Park. To be fair, I think that was a comment for yourself, Plunge. You did say that, mate.
Well, according to you and Cameron, it was the B team that played at Celtic Park anyway. So,
for me, Jason, I think it's crazy how anybody can really question how Celtic are not going to play well. Even if Celtic don't play well, they're still going to come up with something. This is the way it goes. Obviously, it's the way it's been going because obviously every game you're turning up, you're thinking you're going to win. But that's still been cocky. It's still been overconfident. You're only seeing what you're believing from your team, and you can only spout the facts, and the facts are we're dynamite now, and that's us leaving, in my opinion, Jason, at a pop. So I think I did expect a hard game. To be fair, I did expect Hearts to kind of be rough and ready and kick us off the park and get in our faces because obviously the way Tynecastle was, as soon as obviously our players are can handle the pressure, Jason. That's why you're playing at Celtic, because you can handle big occasions, big cup competitions, big atmospheres. That's why you're playing at Celtic. But if you maybe lose an early goal in the crowd, sometimes obviously you don't panic, but listen, in football anything can happen. But I think the fact, Jason, we got the early goal, I think it totally set back Hearts' game plan, because for me, their game plan was to frustrate us, get us early, rough and ready, kick us about, and try and get us on a counter-attack and obviously get the crowd behind them. And I just think Aaron Moy getting that early goal, mate, it totally shut up their shop.
Aye, I think that was his game plan. He's probably been like that as well. Don't go out there and don't lose any early goals. Try and get in their faces in it, and then first 5 minutes they lose a goal, and I don't care what anybody say. If you lose an early goal, your head's all over the place for the next 10-15 minutes because you're like that kind of way we've lost the game plans went away so quick. So I think Aaron Moy's get his goal. I think getting another one just before half time as well, that killed the game for me. There's no way they were coming out and scoring 2 in the second half. What a goal, by the way, for Kyogo. But now I think getting the early goal, which is something that Celtic that we've done really well since Ange came in, was getting the early goal. But yesterday it was needed. It sort of calmed it down. It calmed through the Tynecastle down as well.
We comment as well from Monty. Evening, Ryan and Jason. Evening, mate. Thanks for tuning in. I know it's a Sunday night and a lot more things to do, so I really appreciate it. We comment as well, I think, from Monty down as well here. I think it was Monty, sorry. I think about Haskabanovic. Ryan, I think Haskabanovic is trying too hard. He tries to take his man on once too many times. I like him too. You're probably right. I think you can see Monty before he got his goal the other night. He was trying a lot, shooting a lot, and I think Jason, that maybe is as well. He's obviously, I know the way Ant says it, you're no dropped and it's just the way it is. The mentality is that if you're upset about no playing, well, you just work harder. You don't sulk, you just work hard, you train harder. And obviously he's been working hard in training, and that's why now he's getting his chance. I thought he played well. He wasn't wow, what a performance, but I thought he was maybe a 7 out of 10. It was just good. I thought he'd done his job, and for me, I think that might be a good point for Monty there.
Aye, I think he's obviously maybe thinking if he comes on and plays like every week that he'll start every week. But I think Andrew's proved it. There's no, apart from your back line, I don't think there's in McGregor. There's no really any stick-ons that's going to start every week, and he's proved that because he takes it a lot, and obviously Kyogo as well. But I would maybe he is trying too hard. I think maybe he takes his man on, try to do the extra flick and all that. Maybe it's not needed. Just beat the man and get the cross in. Or get a shot away. Do you know what I mean? But I really do rate him. I think he's really good.
Big comment as well from Chris. I think it's pretty straightforward. If Celtic play their best from the rest of the season, they will win the treble. I'm going to put out here, Chris. I don't know if anybody else has put out there, any other podcasts or any other media outlet, etc. But I think Jason, I know Ange won't talk about it. I know one side Celtic won't talk about it. But I think now you've got to kind of mention it because you're going for 3 trophies here. But you've won a trophy already. You've won in the cabinet. You're in a very good position in the league. You've got a good goal difference in the league. So unless something really, really bad happens to us, maybe injuries or loss of confidence or whatever, because you can't see these teams all of a sudden playing well and overstepping the mark and beating you. So for me, Jason, I'm not saying that you put all your eggs in the basket to win the treble because you've still got a league to win, but you've got every a wee eye on it now. You win the semi, and then hopefully win the semi. That's me. I'm over setting the mark there. Hopefully you win the semi final, whoever it's you play, and then you get to the final, Jason. I think you need to start thinking of it because obviously by then the league could be wired up by then because I think the Scottish Cup's normal end of May, so the league title just about could be wrapped up or will be wrapped up by then. So for me, Jason, I know a lot of fans don't want to talk about it because it's preempting the future and etc. etc. But you're in a decent position, mate, to go for it. So why no? Try and go for it.
I said to my dad yesterday when we went 2-0 up, I was like, we're going to win a treble. And he was like, that. He doesn't want to say that, but and then I said, and that's when I said to him, I said, who's going to stop us? I said, the team that's second have tried, even at their best, they could only manage a draw. I said, so who is actually going to stop us? I said, and I put it in the chat, I said, Celtic's biggest threat to Celtic is Celtic.
Yep.
The only way in my opinion, the only way we don't win a treble is if we get complacent and take our foot off the ball, which I don't think, an eye off the ball, which I don't think he'll let happen because he wants a Scottish Cup because he's not won it yet. But obviously, if you ask him, he's going to be like, I don't actually think he'll be thinking about it and like the new, but I am, and I think that if we win a treble, it will just be hilarious, man.
See, for me, Jason, I think if we really do win a treble, right, which again, it's people might say it is kind of the facts. You know, you've got to kind of mention it. I'm not saying speak about it for half an hour, whatever. You've got to just mention it because if you win the semi-final, then you're in another final. The league is very close. I think you maybe 3 or 4 games away to roughly wrap up because let's be fair, every game you're taking you have now, Jason, 3 points, right? 3 points, you're one step closer. So I think for me, I think all obviously depending on how many points you are ahead by the time you play the Rangers at Celtic Park in the Glasgow Derby. I think if you win that, the league's just about done. So I think that will be for me, Jason. I think if you win that, then I think you can start thinking about the treble. But
if you beat them, if they keep winning and we keep winning, to beat them, you're 12 points clear. The league's won.
Aye. So again, a lot of fans don't want to mention it, Jason, because you don't want to preempt the future, and it's something maybe an unwritten rule. Don't talk about it until you're in the final and stuff like that. So, but I just thought it's a wee topic, Jason, to mention because I don't think. See if we did win a treble, I think that'd be 5 and 7 years roughly. Give or take 5 trebles in 7 years, something like that, which is unbelievable. That's just it's
but
bonkers.
It doesn't get spoken about. It doesn't get spoken about enough, does it?
Jason, Celtic weren't allowed to celebrate a treble, so that's what you're up against, mate. Do you know what I mean? We weren't allowed; it was too busy in the Gala Gate and stuff. But again, that's another day. But what's your thoughts on obviously that, Jason, and obviously like you mentioned, Kyogo. maybe including myself, again, people who are listening might say, Ryan, that you maybe giving him a bit of criticism here, but the only thing I'm going to a bit negative about him is I don't think he's physical enough, but that's because he's culture. You can't train him to be physical. That's no part of his game, but it's just the thing I think he lacks. It's a bit of physicality. I think he's too soft, and I think when it comes to the European football, some of these teams just like the butter you. But again, he gets up and gets on with it, and I love that about him. But I think sometimes he's got to be a wee bit nasty, get the elbows in. But again, I'm not criticising him. I'm just saying I think it's maybe something that he lacks, and maybe that's why maybe somebody or somebody you might say someday to help him in Europe, because you've only need a horn. You can't just leave it to him. This are talks that we go to Real Madrid, right? Be honest with him up front against 4 or 5 big defenders. He's not going to get any joy. So that's when you need somebody to help him. But on Kyogo, mate, that finish was unbelievable. His movement is different gravy. His finishing ability is top notch. A lot of fans on Twitter have seen debating, is he the best of had since Larson? Is he better than Dembele? Is he better than Edward, etc., Hooper, etc.? For me, I'm not going to comment on that, because I still feel, for me, Jason, for Kyogo to get spoke about in that bracket, I think he's got to do it in Europe. But I think then, when he does it in Europe, I think that's when I think you can say, right, aye, there's a massive shout for it now. But until then, I think I'll leave that till maybe that, because Hooper done it in Europe, Edward done it in Europe, Dembele, they all done it in Europe now, you know what I mean? So I think once he gets that off the list, then I think he can go, right, the wee man's definitely up there. But in terms of his finishing, Jason, and his movement, that is top notch.
Aye. We were all sort of saying last year, and people were saying that about Larson, that says, but he's not really done it against Rangers, so he's ticked that one off his list this year. I don't need to see many of them in Europe, but I just think the wee guy is absolutely phenomenal. You know, if you're a defender, you think you've got him under control, then bang, he scores, and you like that. He was literally beside me 2 seconds ago. The way that he plays after the last defender is, I've never seen it before. He's very quick. I do think that's probably, I agree with you, the only thing that lets him down is he's not very physical, but he's scored 27 goals or something this year, so it's one of those ones. It doesn't really need to be physical if he's scoring that many goals. I think he will get over 30 goals this year, which is not to be sniffed at, by the way. That is an unbelievable return. But next year I just want to see him doing it in Europe. And I think I would agree with you. Once he starts doing it in Europe, then I come back, right, okay, we'll get somebody special here. We have got somebody special, but you can start putting him in the same brackets as Larson.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because the King done it at every single level possible. Do you know what I mean? And I never thought that I would see a player like Larson again at Celtic, but if Kyogo does it in Europe, then I can back, right, okay then.
Be commenting off him from Monty. It's quite a good point. Definitely the third striker, not as a backup though. We need to go for a top striker. We have the money, get it, effing done. Mr. Dembele in a free deal. For me, Monty, on you go, Jason.
See the Moussa Dembele thing, right? Me and Barry were talking about this the night we went to the Martin O'Neill night.
Mm-hmm.
That's a weird one, that, right? Because he's not really hit the heights that he should have hit. I don't think Moussa Dembele. You know, for me, he probably should have been a better club than Lyon.
Mm-hmm.
So that just tells me, man, is there maybe a wee attitude problem there, or he thinks he's better than what he is? Because, I mean, the fact that he's going to leave and they're not going to give him a new contract, that speaks volumes for me.
I would
you know what I mean?
See again. I'm not here to put rumours, etc. But you've seen me bits and bobs that maybe he could be coming back, etc. See if Celtic can get Dembele in a free transfer, and he's not asking for humongous wages that you can't afford. I think you'd be daft not to take him back, Jason. I'm being honest with you. I know he might see. I know people will mention it and all right. He might know suit the system. He might, but see, in my opinion, Jason, you can't knock back quality players. You make them fit the system. That's just my opinion. If you've got a quality player, like he's a topic, right? Probably more. It won't happen in the next few years. Maybe near the end of his career, etc. I think Tierney will be back at some point, right? I think he will, right? It's just my opinion. I might be wrong. I might be blowing this out of proportion, but see if Arsenal say to Celtic, right, I think he's got a Newcastle, there's rumours about that, right? So, right, there's Taylor on loan for a year, whatever, right, to get his match, whatever. He might not fit out around 30 fullback system, whatever, but see if you get somebody like that, Jason, you take him and you get him on the team because he's top notch.
But do you drop Greg Taylor for Kieran Tierney then?
Oh, definitely.
Really?
Oh, mate, Tierney's world class, mate.
I know,
Tierney,
but
he's a different level for Taylor.
He's not getting a game, but
see, it's just my opinion, right? See if you can get Kieran Tierney, right? European football with Kieran Tierney or Greg Taylor.
Tierney.
It takes you up a level. But this is what I'm
Obviously.
saying. I'm not on Greg Taylor, by the way. I'm just putting this as a scenario. If you can get Kieran Tierney or somebody like that, you take it. But again, this is me. This is a list that's not going to happen. He's on too much wages. I'm just putting this as a bit of debate. Dembele, if my opinion, if you can get Dembele in a free transfer and he's not wanting mega wages, I would take him. Because I'm a big believer, Jason. I totally agree with what he says. I'm a big believer of having 4 strikers, freedom, 1 top, and other 2 very, very good came in and play. Your 4th is maybe right injuries, right? But he's still good. You put him in. I know it's hard to keep 4 strikers happy at Celtic. I totally get that, right? But that's me maybe loving the dreamland. Maybe, but I think you need 3 very good strikers. We probably right now we've only really got 2. And Kyogo.
But then is Ayeti going to come back? Is he going to give him another chance? I don't know. I can't see it.
I think Ayeti's finished personally. I think he's personally. I know he's improved. I've looked at his stats and that, and he's maybe not improved his goals on, but he's improved the way he's playing and his numbers are up. So I can't see Ayeti playing, mate. But I do agree with Monty. I do think we need to sign. I'd like 100%. Because a lot of fans are saying, obviously, we all love Kyogo, right? Or who's what to come in and play second and third fiddle. But who's to say that guy's no better than Kyogo? We don't know that. We don't know that. But just because we've got him and how good he is, we're thinking we can't get any better than him.
Dembele comes in a free transfer. Who plays in front? Who plays Dembele, Kyogo, or if Dembele's coming up back up here, he's about to play every week. Dembele sitting on the bench.
If Dembele comes to Celtic, he's not coming sitting on the bench. He's going to be wanting to play. So that's why you've got to think about these deals. Are you going to pay a guy big money to come and sit on the bench and be a rotation or play 3 games, no play this game, no? So, but I totally agree, Monty. I do think, Jason, if you're in terms of European football, I think you do need another striker because, again, we've not seen much at all. He looks okay. He can hold the ball up. He looks strong. But again, I think next year, guys like Haskapanovic, Kobayashi, I think they'll be the guys who might flourish next year under pre-season and obviously another season under the belt with Celtic.
Aye, I would say that O's probably one that he's signed for next year, but he's just got him in January so he can get him used to what he wants him to do and all that. I like the big guy. I think he looks a big unity a guy. Same Haksabanovic, and I thought Kobayashi just slotted right in there very, very well yesterday. When he won, by the way, so good with his feet. He's a naturally gifted left centre back. They're hard to find, do you know what I mean? So, but we need another striker. We've been saying that for a while that we need another striker just to give me options, especially in Europe, man, because you need a big. You do need like I don't know, Dembele or whatever that there, because you know what he can do. Do you know what I mean? But maybe Kyogo would need somebody like that beside him to spur him on a wee bit. Do you know what I mean? But this is how you do it. Do you know what I mean?
We comment as well for John. I think it was about the Tierney situation. Injuries robbed Tierney from playing at the very top. Me personally, Jason, I think Kieran Tierney's world class. I think he's one of the best left backs in the world, but he's obviously injury prone. He's not playing with Arsenal because obviously I think the boy Zinchenko, he is, let's be fair, the boy Zinchenko's top class. I think the thing about Zinchenko as well, Jason, he can play in midfield, he can play left wing. He's got a bit of durability about him. So for me, but again, I know people don't want to talk about the past and play for the past and re-signing guys for the past, but it's just my opinion. Just see if Dembele and Tierney's available and they're only going to command massive wages. I think you take them, Jason, because they're going to improve you. the experience of they two in European football. It's not just about how good they are quality wise. See if you can get a guy for decent money, experience wise as well. It's the know how. I'm a big believer, Jason. I've been there and done it and proven, and I do believe that. I don't think it's your nature now in terms of the way we spend money, Jason, to go to spend like £9 million on Edward or somebody anymore. I don't think that's the way we are. I'd love us to do in a big marquee sign like your Jotas and Vickers. I know they were £6 million, which is a solid lot of money, by the way. That's a massive amount of money for Celtic. But can I see us spending £9 million or £10 million on somebody? I can't see it. I think Ange would rather spend £9 million and £10 million on 3 or 4 players and get a bit more value out of it. But for me, I know a lot of fans, Jason, in terms of Brendan Rodgers, so a bit don't like him. But he did say when he signed Edward, he's one of the, if not the best young player he's ever worked with. And let's be fair, for under Celtic, he proved just about right. It was very, very good for the value. I believe, Jason, the £9 million was an absolute bargain for him. I think it really was. For me, he was quality. Not really worked down south from yet, but I think Edward was brilliant. And again, I think maybe it's just not worked out from down there. Is it style of play? Is maybe the Premier League too big for him? Maybe with Celtic's level, we don't know. But I can only talk about for his Celtic experience, mate. And for me, Edward was different class.
Edward was just unbelievable, mate. Do you know what I mean? He done it in the big games. I know he done it in Europe, but I would probably say that Celtic. I think Rodgers would definitely pushed for that signing. You know, we paid £9 million for him, and we had him on loan the year before, so they knew what they were getting. But I don't think they would have just paid £9 million for him without having him on loan. Because even when they came in on loan, I thought it was really good. It's not, as you say, it's no work for him down south. But you don't know this. You don't know the circumstances if it's maybe doesn't go on with that in that system or whatever. But watching Edward is unbelievable, mate. An unbelievable player, man.
We coming for James. KT has been moved on because he's finding it hard to play inverted fullback. His time has gone at Celtic. It's a fair comment, James, but I think if you're a good player, you adapt to what the manager asks and formations. I think if you're a good player, I think you can play in any system. It's just my opinion. I don't really believe in this. He doesn't fit the system. He might not adapt to it. I think if you're a quality player, you adapt to it. And I think
he's only 25.
He's not old, mate. He's still quite young. Again, this is just it's still something obviously it's probably going to happen in the near future, but it's quite a good wee debate to have. For me, Kieran Tierney is different class. Greg Taylor for me has improved massively. He's been brilliant. Maybe one of the player of the year this year. But let's just not kid anybody on here. If Kieran Tierney comes, he's playing. It's just no matter how good Greg Taylor's done, if you can get Kieran Tierney and he's playing every week, in my opinion. And inverted fullbacks or no, he'll play because he's playing at centre back. It's just my opinion. I'm not a manager. That's why I'm not getting paid the big box. I'm just a fan who I would love to see. And if Kieran Tierney was available and you sign him, in my opinion, Jason, he plays every week.
Probably does, aye. But these injuries let him play every week because he has been plagued with injury. Is that because he was played too much at Celtic? Though that's a different debate, I guess. Do you know what I mean? Because he kind of hinted it when he was on open goal, didn't he?
Aye.
He was probably played a wee bit too much. But I think if Kieran Tierney comes to Celtic and some kind of stroke of miracle that he's going back to Celtic, then you've got to play him every week. I think.
And like you mentioned as well about the Hearts game, Kobayashi come on. Thought he looked comfortable. I think he was very, very good. Again, I think you'll see him more next year in terms of his quality. But I think he's come in so far, Jason, proved that he's definitely a shout to come in and play. Again, you have no qualms if he's playing, if Starfelt's injured or Vickers. Obviously, Vickers is, for me, we'll go into him because he's phenomenal. But if Starfelt's injured and Kobayashi steps in, I don't think you'd be too fussed because he's looked quite good. I think he can play for the back. That's an non-signing, like you say. It's a non-signing. He can play for the back. I think he's strong. He looks tactically aware, and I do think he'll be a good asset for us, Jason.
Aye, I think he'd be good. He looks good. I think he's only played 3 games or something, but the 3 games he's played, he's looked really, really good, mate. He's been very comfortable in the ball. He's good with about his feet. He's looks quite controlling. Always looks like a wee bit of strength. But I think next year will be him. He's by all accounts, he's a third choice centre half, and they've come in and sort of sent Jens packing, didn't he? Because the big Jens man came in, and once he came in, that was it. He went away, and Stephen Welsh isn't very to be seen. So I would say that I big Kobayashi, I've been quite impressed with him, mate, I must admit.
Obviously, to be fair, I think Big Jens is. I think obviously it was a family decision, but I don't think Jens. I thought it was okay. I didn't think he'd done anything dramatic, but I thought it was comfortable, and we done well with him when he was here. And with Schalke, he's done well since he went to Germany. He's improved their defence. I think they've had a few clean sheets, etc. So he's done well with him over there. But I think Kobayashi, I think he'll come good as well. He looks very good. I know people might say, "Oh, it's only Hearts he's played against, etc." But I think he's very good.
In the country.
Aye, no, that's true, mate. I think for me, it's the options we've got, Jason. Look at the bench. You bring on Abada, you bring on O'Reilly, you've got Tumble looking at a game, guys like McCarthy not on the squad, Forrest is injured. You've got a wealth of talent there and not even getting a game. Some of the guys who are not getting a game would play for every other team in Scotland week in, week out. So it's just one of the things, Jason, that every game now, obviously you're going to have your favourites. I want him to play. But in my opinion, Jason, you're not really moaning anymore or having a wee gripe about who plays now. Obviously, Maeda's injured by the looks of it. I don't know how far he's going to be back next week or etc. But a lot of fans, again, will his work rate, Jason. There's a few comments in one of the YouTube feeds there saying that I think it's Monty said that he thought that it was missed yesterday. In my opinion, I get what he's saying, but I think because we won the game quite comfortable, I don't think we missed him in the sense. Like, I thought Jota was very good yesterday. He's tracking back. Again, that's something he's improved on. But I totally agree. Maeda's an absolute workhorse. I don't think technically he's the best in the team. I think technically he can probably go and buy better, Jason. But in terms of his work rate, his will to win, his desire, his hunger to go and win the ball back and help his teammates. And the game against them, he stopped Rangers playing. He stopped Tavernier at the park, and that's one of their outlays. So I think he's vital, Jason, to the way we play. But depending on what game you play, I think you can do without him in a sense. Like the game against Hearts, normally you think, oh, that's a game he's got to play. But the thing I love for your squad is, Jason, you can put Jota there, you can put that, and they might not do the same job, but they're still up to the task. Might not have the running power at him, but they'll do it in different ways. So you've got a wealth of talent there, you've got a wealth of depth, mate, and I hope he's back fit soon. I know one says he was maybe close to playing, but it's getting to the stage of the season now, Jason. You don't want to risk players. If he's no fit, just rest him. Don't rush him because you've got the depth there. But that's a good point, Jason. What do you think about Maeda in terms of, do you think he's a must start every week, or do you think there may be the odd game where that you could obviously give him a rest and play other guys? In my opinion, Jason, I think he suits the European away games to a T, the way he plays. And in Europe, you know, Celtic, you're probably 9 times out of 10 away from home. You're going to be backs against the wall with some of these quality teams. And his running power and the way he tracks back and the way he's just an absolute workhorse, it's definitely a way when you defend for the front in Europe. I think he's absolutely vital to how you play.
Aye, I don't think we missed him that much yesterday, to be honest. I think we were all right. I wouldn't, but I think since we come back to the World Cup, he's been really, really good. But I would agree with you. I don't think we should rush him back. You know, I think that we're in a position where we don't need to rush him back. But I do agree as well. I think the European away nights is really good. I think his press is, I've never seen it before in his life. I don't know. He must be one of the fittest guys in that training ground, man. Because he's just constant. I I think if he, I don't know. I think probably if he is fit, then you probably would start him over the rest. But we don't need to rush him back. I think Haksabanovic and Abada and that are very capable of coming in and doing the job all right.
And obviously, yes, I think a talking point that we need to mention, I think it's not really been spoken about, is this here. Alistair Johnson, the tackle from Andy Halliday. That still image isn't the best images, but I just thought I'd highlight the tackle. In my opinion, when I first seen it, I thought it was a penalty. I've seen it again and again and again. It's an absolute stonewall penalty. There's no, in my opinion, I don't know how you can argue how it's not a penalty. It's just my opinion on this. People can tell me, Ryan, I think it's this, which I'll listen to you, but it's not really going to change my mind, because as soon as I seen it, Jason, I thought, right, that's a penalty. And then the fact, in my opinion, Jason, I don't think it actually get checked. So how, I just generally, he's late. He's late. See if that's the middle of the park, Jason, that's a foul and a yellow card. So why is it not? Obviously, I know that's double jeopardy thing. So, but why is it not a penalty? If that's in the middle of the park, if it's the right side of the wing, that's a foul. So I know for the angle of the referee, it might not be the best angle for the referee to see, right? But that's when the VAR. Well, apparently everything gets checked, right? Which I just don't. I think it's bollocks. I don't think everything gets checked as thoroughly as it should. That didn't get checked. That we didn't get shown it for the VAR. We didn't get told anything. Play on. And it happened. I'm sure somebody seen it on Twitter a while ago. Actually, that's there. Monty's just said that. I seen it today on Twitter, but Monty's just confirmed it. It's a penalty all day long. It happened with Azageri at Aberdeen. I can mind that one actually at Pataudry. That's quite a good shout. As I say, a guy put it on Twitter this morning.
See if that's down another end, it's a penalty.
But that's what I'm saying, right? See if that was in the Hearts end and they didn't get it, right? Or it'd be in the media, it'd be on Super Scoreboard tomorrow, it'd be, that could have won Hearts the game, etc., right? But see, in my opinion, right, it doesn't matter what the scoreline is. If that's 10-0, 1-0, whatever, it doesn't matter the scoreline. That can impact a game. Decisions like that. That can impact it can totally impact a game. That could be like nothing each. You've won the game 3-0. Doesn't matter what the scoreline is. That can impact the game. It's a clear penalty in my eyes. I don't know how it's not a penalty. Well, I know why it's not a penalty, because apparently we're paranoid. Come on, every week now, how can you say that there's something no here? Because that is ridiculous, in my opinion, Jason. I'm not going to spend too much saying my piece on it, mate, but I think it's a total penalty. And how Celtic haven't even went and said anything about that. Well, they might have. We don't know. But in my opinion, Jason, surely they've got to question how that's not a penalty, because there's people looking at that and they're trying to say that technology is meant to help. In fact, it's not even technology, actually. It's the guys looking at it at a screen, at a monitor, and they can't give that as a penalty. In my opinion, Jason, that's just total incompetence.
It's a stone wall. As soon as I seen it, as a pen. Mr. Nielsen didn't mention that after the game, did he? About that being a stonewaller. But listen, everybody knows my opinions on this VAR. I think that it's selective in what it chooses. The fact that it never even got looked at tells you everything you need to know. I've seen it a few times, and I am agreeing with you. I think it's a stonewaller, a penalty. I think people are saying because he got the ball away, that because Alistair Johnson still got it away, that it wasn't a penalty. But for me, there's contact there and it's a penalty, mate. And I'll stand by it. If that's in the other end or any other team against Celtic, that's a penalty. It wouldn't even have went to bar, it went straight to a penalty. 100%, it's a penalty.
The wee comment for Lanky. Hope you're well. There's no talking point about the incident because nobody listened, because Celtic, if it was another club, it would be a different matter. We move on and go into the next game. Again, Lanky, I totally agree. Again, that I don't think we've been the only team hard done by in decisions, but some of the things that have went against us is, for me, has been James Forrest handball, Bernaby's, O'Reilly's, and then you don't get a penalty like that. Again, it's
Connor Goldson's, I know.
So again, I'm not going to sit here and say that that it's well, it is blatant, but I'm not what to censure it on live, but it's getting more blatantly obvious. I really try my best, Jason, to be balanced, and I
Mate,
try
they
and
don't
look at
even, but
things.
see the thing is, but that they're not even trying to hide it. That's the thing, that it's not even, it's so in your face with what's happening. But then it's just, oh,
I try my
then
best. I really
just
do try my
paranoid.
best. Nah, I try my best, Jason. Every decision to look at as balanced as I can. But see, sometimes, mate, you can't all be balanced because it's ridiculous. And I agree with Patrick
See
here
that
as
one,
well.
that one last week, but I get up against St Mirren with Greg
Mhm.
Taylor. That's not a penalty, and I don't care what anybody says. That isn't a penalty.
See, my opinion, right? It's
Mate,
not a penalty, but the way these rules are, the rules are just
right,
totally on
okay then.
football.
So if that's a penalty, then how come the boy Smith at Tynecastle isn't a penalty, and the one in Corner Goals in Ibrox isn't a penalty? Then just seems to be that every time a Celtic player handballs it in the box, oh, it's a penalty.
See the thing, it's making all yours. I'll go back to this for Patrick, sorry. We would have seen 500 replays if it were. I totally understand that, Patrick. I get that as well. I think if that was
Robin Nielsen would have been pulling his hair transplant out if it had been down the other end.
No, I totally agree. But for me, Jason, I just think it's farcical now. I don't. Me and JP spoke about it at the start of the season that if it was done properly, then and it was all good and proper and it wasn't wasting time and you just take it. Do you know what? Let's try it and hopefully it works. And for me, he's another top point, Jason. The offside they gave an off. Oh, come on, man. He's never offside. And the referee's looking at that.
Here,
now, see,
I'll talk that one.
See if there's no VR, by the way, as much as we're slaying to him, see if there's no VR, he's getting that as offside. But,
I'll talk that one. Haksabanovic gets the own ball and his own half at Celtic Park, saves it in 5 of them, puts it in the top corner, and then it's VAR check for offside. Come on! That's incredible. It is incredible. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I keep saying it, them across the water, it's just, I mean, the bars come in and they've load a penalty against them. That is ludicrous. Ludicrous. See, another thing as well, 145 corners they've had. 145 corners.
Who?
Them across the water. Seen it on Twitter.
What, this season?
Aye.
Corners? That's quite a lot, isn't it?
145 corners. That's fucking unbelievable.
That is a lot, isn't it? No, that's another trophy. They've won the corner trophy.
But that's the VAR thing. It's just funny now. It is just funny now because they're just like.
It's for me, Jason. I honestly don't want to talk about it, but see when things like that come up, you've got to mention it because it's ridiculous. Like he's no offside, and then the penalty.
See, the best one with being offside was the one at Firth Park, where you didn't have lines, and then the next week, or another team was at offside. Oh, there the lines had magically appeared to where the Kyogo was offside. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I've exhausted too much energy on it, man. But
I think you're lucky, Jason, that we're that good as well that we don't need to rely on decisions gone for us or against us. I do believe that we've got the quality in the park to overcome it. Again, it'll get interesting near the end of the season if we are close to a treble, shall I say. How we'll go about, that remains to be seen. But overall, Jason, in the game, what's your feelings on the match overall, and if there's anything else that you want to highlight?
No, I just think we were thoroughly deserved it. We were right at the tracks for the start, done everything right, and they didn't really give Hearts a look in, to be honest. Again, there was a few people that had in their head that they were going to beat us, but like we've done for the last couple of years, we're talking on the pitch, and we keep doing it. And it's an absolute joy to watch Celtic now because we're unbelievable. We're totally, utterly dominant now, and I just can't see I hate saying stuff like this. We'll end up dropping points at the weekend, but I don't see where it's coming from. I don't see where it's coming from.
And obviously, I think you're talking about Robin Nielsen. I think he was this at the weekend.
He's raging! He's raging!
I think he was raging at the weekend, Minty.
See that man? Right, that man never gives us any praise. It's brilliant.
No, what I loved as well, Jason, was after I think it was the second goal we got, I think. And as well like that, and he's turned away like that. That's amazing. The fact that was on camera was brilliant.
See, the fuck with all this, right, is that Ange doesn't really react, but see, inside he's probably like, get it up, you. Do you know what I mean? Because I know I would be.
Aye. No, but that's what I says about when obviously we won the cup final a few weeks back. Inside, I think, and he doesn't seem the sort of manager that praises himself and etc. Like individual accolades, but I think inside where offshore sticky got about being sacked by Christmas, and then obviously Celtic the Rangers are coming into a forum, etc., and then Celtic win, in my opinion, quite comfortably. I think, Jason, inside, if we win the league again, which we're going to do, hopefully, I think he will take a bit of personal satisfaction that kind of like, like, I'm still here, winning trophies. He didn't think Celtic would be back. In my opinion, Jason, I said it, that I did say no matter who we go, that we wouldn't be as bad as the last season, because for me, Jason, it was an absolute horrendous one season wonder phase. I can't see he's really been that bad again, because of the way we are under Ange. And I think when Ange goes, because I think he will go eventually. I just think that's just, we've got to prepare for that. But you appreciate him when he's here. It's the same with any good player. You appreciate him while he's here, because we don't know what happens in football. When he does go, I think we've got a wee bit of a nucleus between the fans and the board and the connection in the club. I think we'll be a bit more better state when he was to go, because I think obviously Mark Lawwell's there. I think I can't remember the guy's name, but we've just got a new guys in recently. He's come into the club, I think, from Man City. So I think the board level's a bit more structured. It's no as, but let's be fair, it's a bit dramatic the last year or so, but obviously before Ange came in. So I think we're a bit more structure club-wise, we're better club-wise, structure-wise, if that was to happen.
No, I would agree. I think that when he does leave, that he'll leave his mark on the club, and I think it'll very much like Martin O'Neill, it will continue. So, and he said that that's what he wants to do, that when he's timed up, that he wants to leave, that when he leaves, that he wants to leave a club that's run right and it's prepared to win the Champions League every year. And I think he's done that.
I just think I think in terms of Ange, mate, I think a lot of people, no in Celtic, but outside of Celtic, will judge him on next year in Europe. I think that's where that's when you'll see, obviously, a lot of people looking at him. Because let's be fair, Jason, if we keep winning trophies and he keeps beating Rangers and we keep getting good results, he's going to get looked at. It's just natural. I know us as fans don't want that to happen, mate, but I think it is just definitely, it's just life, mate. It's going to happen when you're successful at your job and you're successful at your craft. You're going to get looked at. So, but again, the last bit yourself, mate. Going forward into next week, obviously another tough game. What's your thoughts into next week, mate, and overall, mate?
It's much more of the same, I think, mate. Just going, I think we've parked the cup now, just back to getting the league and getting another 3 points, and just another 3 points, and that's another one ticked off to getting the trophy back.
I think that's the thing, mate. It's just every game now you get it ticked off, and on to the next game, I know we are mentioning that day the word treble, but you don't, obviously the players won't think of that, but you've got to, obviously, in my opinion, you've got to get a mention, because it could happen. But again, you want the league first. That's your bread and butter. And then you're obviously going to try and win the semi and the final. But again, mate, it's been good to chat to you. Always a good chat and smiling faces. it's cold tonight, so we're going to heat up -9, mate. So into semi, I'll be getting my long johns on the night. Another semi-final, mate. To look forward to, obviously, Falkirk or tomorrow. So we'll see the draw tomorrow. I'm being honest, I'll probably imagine we'll probably get Rangers in the final, because I think we'll probably play one of the lower teams in the semi, and hopefully you win. And I think that's when I think we'll play them, in my opinion. But right now, I think we're relentless, Jason. We don't fear anybody. So I'm really looking forward to every game now. I think as a Celtic fan, Jason, it's getting exciting every game now. So please, if you as well, the Celtic FC Supporters Foundation, they're on Twitter and Facebook. They have a night coming up May the 6th. I think it's called the Seville Way. It's all about Seville, and they're on Seville, and I think £65 a ticket as well. All the updates will be on the foundation website. Just keep a wee eye on that as well if you want to go as well, against a brilliant cause, and it'll be a fantastic night. And if you like our content, I know it's a late Sunday night, so I know there's a lot of things better than listening to me and Jason talk maybe a bit of rubbish. I really appreciate you joining in. If you do like the content, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. All you need to do is click your wee bell, it says subscribe, and you'll get any notification we go live or any videos we upload. It's free to do so. All you need to do is make a wee Google account, make a wee password your choice, and an email address, and you'll be in to do what you want, and hopefully subscribe to the channel. Celtic Unrestricted View, it's on every platform, social media platform, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter. Myself and Jason are on Twitter, Instagram. You can get us all on there. Me and JP have got access to the community bit on YouTube, where we'll keep you updated on any guests or any updates about the podcast. We do have a guest on Wednesday night. I will confirm that, but as it stands at the moment, that is happening. So we'll confirm that. A very good guest to look forward to as well. And Jason, TikTok, we love TikTok. The jazzy videos on that, and any updates will come on. It'll come on the community page on YouTube. But please subscribe to the channel. It helps get the content out to the fans, and we try our best to get the best guests we can. Also, we did do a guest podcast with Paul Byrne, ex-Celtic player. That is on YouTube. Me and JP had a very good chat with him. Very, very good guest. Very good opinions. Really enjoyed his company, and that is still available on all platforms. But again, Jason, I'll let you go, big man. Go and get a cup of tea and rest up. Thanks for your time, guys. Hail, hail, and take care.
See you later on, guys. Cheers.
You look as if you have just come straight away for the Green Brigade.
Aye, we'd a meeting at 6:30, mate.
A big milestone for the captain as well. Considering obviously where we were a wee while ago, didn't know who the captain was going to be. A few, including myself, wasn't sure about McGregor. I was kind of saying Julian and all that, and you weren't really sure who was going to come in as manager to start off with, and then who would be the captain. Obviously, because let's be fair, anybody who follows Scott Brown it's always going to be a hard task to follow the way he was as a person, as a player, and as a captain. Not